welcome back to Legacy Racing. I've been off for over a month, had the hematoma on my quad after the SORCA downhill and it put me out, couldn't ride, couldn't walk for a couple of weeks really, so I've had to recover and spent some time doing that. As every rider I'm sure does when they're injured, all you do is think about riding. Think about when you're going to be back on the bike, when you're going to get to go out and have fun again. So obviously definitely did that. And while I was off, I had a lot of time to think about my riding, analyse my riding, look back on all the races that I've done so far this year. And I've come up with quite a lot of things that I really need to work on and things that I'm not happy with. So I'm going to do quite a long bit of chat now. So if you want to skip all of the chat and get to the riding, skip to this point in the video. Looking back at all the races that I've done this year, I rewatched lots of videos that I've put out and just thought a lot about some of the runs and some of the results and some of the things that I was unhappy with. And going back over that stuff, the areas that I really struggle are cornering, braking, and very high speed, as well as a bit of vision and a bit of being passive on the bike. So not being active, not pushing the bike in where I want it, and just being a bit of a passenger. So that's 5 pretty big things that I really want to work on. And I'm definitely someone that could really benefit from having some proper coaching, but unfortunately my financial position right now doesn't really allow me to do that. There's so many really good coaches in the Sea to Sky area where I am, in Squamish, in Vancouver and Whistler and stuff, but unfortunately, as much as I really want to, I can't afford to have a coach right now. So I'm going to try and do some bits by myself and try and work on some things, come up with some drills to help me work on it. And over this next month and a half to 2 months in the summer where I'm not doing any racing, I'm going to really try and work on it. If you guys or anyone viewing has any pointers or tips or drills or anything that you think would be really beneficial, please drop them in the comments. I'd be really keen to know what you guys think. And the other thing that's come up after some conversations with the other half of this channel, Ben, back in the UK, he's done a lot of work recently with testing and bike setup, and he said it's really helped him and helped his confidence on the bike, and he feels like a different rider. His speed's increased, his technical ability's increased, so it's one thing that I've done bits and pieces of with testing and bike setup, but really not enough. And I've been doing a lot of research recently, and it's something I'm getting really interested in. So I'm going to spend some good amount of time the next 2 months in these videos doing some testing and bike setup. So hopefully that might help you guys. And same thing with the coaching stuff. If you have any tips for me on bike setup or things I might be doing wrong, then drop it in the comments and let me know. One bit of testing that I have done when I switched tyres, so I used to ride Schwalbes and I switched over to Continentals. So I now ride a Crypto Towel front and rear in the sort of more spring, summer, fall months, and then I ride an Argotau on the front in the winter. So I've messed around with casings, rubber compounds, pressures, all that kind of stuff, and I kind of settled on having a downhill casing soft in the rear, running about 25 psi, and a super soft compound with a enduro casing on the front and 22 psi. I kind of stick to that most of the time. If I'm riding a particularly rough track, I might put a little bit extra pressure in there, 1 or 2 psi, and if the grip is really low, like in the winter or on a super dusty track, I'll drop the pressures a little bit to try and find a bit extra grip and get that slightly wider contact patch. But outside of that, I haven't done anything else. So the things that I really want to dig into now are geometries and suspension being the big one. So with the geometry stuff, I've been thinking for a little while and feeling for a little while that my bars are maybe too narrow and I maybe need to go slightly higher on the front end and slightly longer. I have a super short stem on right now, it's only a 35, and that was mostly because of climbing. My bike has a slightly slack seat tube angle, which makes climbing a little bit difficult, so I put a shorter stem on to make that a bit more comfortable, but I actually think now that it's maybe hindering my descending. So as much as it's more financials that I don't have, at some point I'm going to hopefully try a longer stem and wider and taller bars. So I actually got out on the bike a few days ago. I did a couple of bike park laps after work at Grouse, and when I got on that bike, I was aware that I've been off the bike for a little while, so it was going to feel a little bit, I was going to feel a little bit rusty, but When I rode, my bike felt really small, and I felt like I was really deep in my travel, and the grip was low, and I was taking multiple hits, and the ride just wasn't as smooth as it used to. That's probably partly down to the riding, but I think suspension, I really need to start playing with it and understanding how it works, and understanding what adjustments do what, how air pressure affects it, how progression rate affects how it feels, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try and do as much of that as I can in the next few months, and hopefully by the next time I race, which is in September, I'll be in a good position and I'll feel good on the bike and hopefully be able to get a result, because so far this year I haven't really got the result that I wanted to. I really wanted to get a top 5 in one of these SORCA enduros. So far my best is 8th, and I was a little bit behind. I was quite far off getting 5th, so that was just disappointing. The Squamish Enduro, I was slightly disappointed with the result just because of the crashes and the mistakes that I had during the day, but I wasn't too disappointed with the result because the field is so stacked. The talent here is incredible. So hopefully next time I race in September, there's 2 in September, I can get to a point where I feel good on the bike and I can hopefully get a result and a performance that I'd like. So that's kind of the plan for the channel for the next few months. I'm going to be doing a lot of testing, practicing, trying to work on the skills, trying to coach myself, and trying to get to a point where I feel good on the bike and try and get as competent as I can. On the other side, Ben has some big races coming up. He's doing Ardrock in a couple of weeks in the UK, and then he's going to the World Cup in Leger to do the Open for the Enduro. So that's super exciting. Those are going to be really good videos, so keep an eye out for those. He's going to rip, and I cannot wait to see how he does. And for this video for me, it's my first proper ride back since the hematoma, so I'm going to take it super steady. I'm going to try and dust off some cobwebs, and I'm also going to play around a little bit with some of my settings and geometry and stuff. I'm going to try mess around with my bar roll to see if I can make the front end feel a bit more comfortable. So that's the plan for me for today. I'm going to ride some black trails, some blue trails, try and get back to feeling better on the bike, and try and discover a really good baseline setting for my suspension so I can work off of that, do some bracketing, make some adjustments over the next few weeks, and see what we can do. I'm also running my trail lid for the first time this year, so I'm messing around a little bit with the GoPro locations and all that kind of stuff in the settings, so there might be some slightly dodgy filming on this one just while I mess around with the settings and the positions with the GoPro on the helmet, so just bear with me on that. That's the chatting over, let's get to some riding. Okay, first little lap. I'm going to do upper one man's garbage. It's quite flat with flat turns. Whoa. It's also quite fast if you're a fast rider. It's normally a section that I really struggle with, so I have a pretty bad fear of losing grip in corners. So in corners like this where there's not a huge amount of grip or support, I tend to do the thing which makes you lose your grip, like braking in the corner. So I need to work on that. That wasn't too bad. Okay, now I'm going to go into dump truck, which is quite a loamy, tight trail, and it's going to be very slick in these conditions, I think. This corner in particular, I always fuck that one up. Let's do that again. So this kind of corner is one of the big things that I noticed with my enduro racing. Like a super tight, really slippy, tricky corner with like roots in it and not much support on the exit. I just panic and I cannot get around it without being on the brakes or letting off soon enough to have the exit speed. So let's try it again. I'm trying to be a bit more conscious of my braking. Brake here. Off. Better. Woo! It is slick. Whoa! Ooh. Okay, that was a bit better. A couple of hairy moments. Okay, I'm going on to Full Nelson. Now this is going to be where I really have to sort my shit out, because these fast, smooth trails are where I really tend to struggle. So I'm just scared of losing the grip. Whoa! Like I almost did there, but I only did that because I was braking in the corner. Let's try and really get over the front, get off the brakes, push the tyres. Tight corner, brake early. See a brake in the corner, and I move my weight back on the bike, just trying to really struggle. Ooh, there. That was a fuck up. I was a bit better on that left. Pull off here somewhere and get back on the climb. Just here. Oh, that was fun. So stoked to be back on the bike, man. I missed it really bad. Okay, lap 2. I'm going to do the same first 2 sections, the one man's garbage and dump truck, because I've rolled my bars forward a few degrees and adjusted my levers and stuff to match. So I'm going to see how this feels. It looks kind of weird to me. I don't know if you can tell. I've rolled it forward a few degrees. But the rise is definitely more prominent from my angle right now, so I'm hoping that I've got a little bit more height and maybe a little bit more reach than I did before, and see how this feels. So let's go. Oh, it's a noticeable difference. That's crazy. Only a few degrees. Definitely feels higher. Whoa. My hands feel like they're at a different angle, which is strange. Not yet sure if it's better or worse. Definitely feels different. Whew. As you can tell, I've also moved the GoPro from the top of the helmet to under the visor, because I didn't like it on top, but I'm noticing under the visor it's trying to pull my helmet down, which is annoying. Okay, dump truck. Ah, fucked up again. Sorry guys.
No, you're good.
I'm so surprised by how different my bike feels with just a few degrees of bar roll forward. I'm not sure if it's better or not right now. It feels odd, like I'm not used to it, so I'm not sure if that's making a difference. I definitely feel like my elbows are wider, which is really good because I have a tendency to drop my elbows in. But I feel like the weight distribution is a bit off, but that might just be being scared of being further forward. So I'm going to ride lower one man's garbage. It's a trail I've only ridden once in round 1 of the SORCA Enduro series, so it was a little while ago. So I'm going to ride this and see how it feels. I'm going to try and get a bit more used to it. Whoa! Oh, I lost my front end. Actually, no, I lost my back end because I was over the front. Front wheel grip. Oh, feels good until you hit roots. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. Oh no! Oh, this feels so weird. Feels like there's a lot more weight in my hands than I'm used to. And I think it's good for front wheel grip, but I'm just really not used to the weight distribution. Woo. Okay, lap 2, kept everything the same, just to see if I can get used to it a bit more. But I am finding, I think when my weight's further forward, the rear end keeps skipping up, which means I don't have a rear wheel on the ground, which is affecting braking and grip. Oh god! Oh. Oh, that's the line that I always miss. That's good. Oh, that's where I'm having trouble with the rear end. It's on those steep, heavy braking bits. Woo! Ooh. Front end feels good. I just think that the balance between my fork and my shock is off now, where my body is a bit further forward. I think there's either too much pressure or too much rebound on the rear. I'm just kicking my back end up. So let's try and fix that. Okay, little connector trail. Whoa. Bar position's feeling quite nice. If I can get the suspension to balance out, I think we might be on to a bit of a winner. Gonna see how it feels on the blue flowy type of stuff, so we get a bit more of an idea of the actual changes. It feels nice. Give these guys a bit of time. I am also very aware that the trail conditions are pretty primo right now. There's a little bit of moisture in it after a lot of dry, so I'm going to try not to let that cloud my judgment, and I will do some continued bar roll experimenting. But so far it feels pretty good. I feel like I'm taller on the bike and in a more attack position, which is something I've been looking for. I've been trying to do it consciously with my body position, like trying to flare my elbows out and stuff like that, but it might have just been down to how I had my bar set up that I couldn't do it. So this could be a really good positive thing. Oh, rim dinger on there. And that's it for today. It was a really fun session. I'm so gassed to be back on the bike. It was so fun. I really missed it. And it's difficult when you're off the bike for an injury. Like, all you do is miss it and all you do is want to get back on the bike. So, and that's been my time for the last month and a bit. So I'm super excited to be back. That was a good session. It felt good to dust off the cobwebs. My fitness has definitely dropped a little bit. I started to feel a little bit fatigued towards the end, and I only did 21k today. So fitness has definitely dropped a little bit, but that's fine. That's to be expected, and we'll hopefully get it back up over the next few weeks. It was really interesting with the bar roll. Like, even just that small change, I rolled it forward maybe 3 or 4 degrees. Probably less than that, maybe 2 or 3 degrees. And it made a huge difference to how the bike felt. First lap on it was weird. Like, it felt very different. But once I got used to it, it started to feel good. So I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit more. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit, maybe go a bit even further forward just to see where the limit is of it feeling silly, and then go from there and try and really dial in the position that I like. And that might actually fix the issue that I've been feeling that my bars were too low and not wide enough. Making that roll forward has made them feel a little wider and a little taller, which has put me in a better position to help me get my elbows out, which is really good. So lots more testing and riding to come. I'm going to try and really enjoy my riding over these summer months while I'm not racing. I'm going to try and explore some of the big trails in Squamish that I haven't done yet, like In and Out Burger and all of those big ones. So I'm really glad to be back. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.